I am currently balancing a marketing internship, an endlessly expanding reading list, and the final crushing weight of my MFA thesis. Astrologers call this period your Saturn Return, a cosmic audit of your entire life. It is chaotic, it is exhausting, and to cope with it, I'm reading stories where the stakes are life, death, and something much stranger. If you follow my channel, Romantasy and Routine, you know my corner of BookTube is built on dissecting the stories we use to escape. Look at the data from my own readers. We publicly curate soft pastel-colored vision boards about gentle love and healthy boundaries. But the actual analytics reveal a contradictory truth. We say we want safety, but our reading habits prove we actively ache for the storm. We bypass cozy coffee shop romances and sprint toward decaying, haunted manors. We seek narratives soaked in gore, and we devour thousands of pages set inside highly toxic, deeply corrupt institutions. When our daily lives are governed by marketing metrics and academic pressure, these simulated nightmares offer a different kind of structure. We are turning toward the dark and the difficult because they give a name to the pressures we're already feeling. So let's examine the Gothic Whimsy subgenre. Several highly anticipated 2026 releases feature protagonists composed entirely of nature. We are reading about human boys falling in love with girls constructed out of twigs, dirt, and flowers. We look at a protagonist made of literal yard waste and think, goals. Having bark for skin means having absolute, impenetrable personal boundaries. It provides physical armor against a world that demands constant access to your energy. In my own universe, before Gloria Regali, I call this feeling the hum. It's a constant frequency that physically hurts the characters. Every single thing in their environment is too loud, too bright, and demands too much attention. In these books, grounding oneself in earth magic is a direct trauma response. For a reader navigating an overstimulating, painfully loud society, turning into a literal tree is the ultimate neurodivergent fantasy of physical relief. Then we have the Gothic romance readers. We're currently devouring stories set in eerie, isolated manners, featuring revenge plots so brutal the protagonist would logically require a full medical team just to survive the first act. These narratives rely heavily on wounded masculine energy. Take my character Apollo Regali. He uses romantic coercion to ripen magic. He manipulates affection to extract power, wrapping deep psychological abuse in velvet cloaks and stolen glances. We read these books and convince ourselves we can fix the architecture of a deeply toxic walking red flag. We ignore the immediate danger because his trauma is described with beautiful, poetic prose. This diagram maps out a measurable cost. In my thesis, I call it the flesh tax. It represents the literal, physical sacrifices women make every day to operate in spaces, both fictional and real, that were deliberately built to siphon their power. We idolize these haunted, dangerous men because we are exhausted. We desperately want to believe that enduring systemic abuse will eventually be rewarded with an all-powerful, devoted protector. If you want to understand where this obsession with oppressive structures originates, look closely at the streets of Bologna. The historical weight of these ancient corridors serves as the exact blueprint for the dark academia subgenre. In my own writing, the University of Bologna houses something called the Eternity Engine. It is a semi-sentient machine hidden within this very architecture, specifically designed to harvest the biomagic of neurodivergent women. This is the twisted psychological appeal of trauma core settings. A terrifying, corrupt institution suddenly feels manageable if its monsters must hand out a syllabus. If survival is simply measured by maintaining a high GPA, the terror becomes a predictable checklist. Our obsession with dark academia is the ultimate delusion of control. We falsely believe that we can outsmart a soul-harvesting systemic machine simply by keeping our heads down and being an exceptional student. From the physical boundaries of a girl made of wood to the survival syllabus of a dark university, these tropes work like a collective engine. They allow us to process the friction of our actual institutions through a safer, fictional lens. Which brings us to a very real question about how you choose to survive when you realize you are trapped inside a sinister, magic-harvesting environment. This diagram illustrates your two options. You can take the active, highly dangerous path of trying to dismantle the corrupt machine piece by piece. Or you can take the passive, aesthetically pleasing route, hiding in the library and translating ancient lamentations strictly for the vibes. Wherever you are in your own Saturn return, be blunt about what you need, and be kind to the people surviving alongside you. And whatever you do, watch out for the hum.